For 30 days, I deleted every social media app from my phone. No Instagram, no Twitter, no TikTok, nothing. At first, it felt strange and even a little uncomfortable, but as the days went by, I started to notice changes I didn't expect. In this video, I'll share what I learned during a full month without social media. The first week breaking the habit. The first few days without social media were the hardest. Every morning, I'd wake up, roll over, and reach for my phone. Normally, I'd open Instagram before even brushing my teeth. But now, the apps were gone. My thumb hovered over the empty spot where the little colorful icons used to be. It felt wrong. Like something important was missing. I didn't realize how often I grabbed my phone just to scroll. Waiting for my coffee, I reached for it. Standing in line at the store, I reached for it. Even while watching TV, my hand would twitch, searching for the screen. It was automatic, almost like a reflex I couldn't control. That's when I started to understand what was happening. Social media is designed to give us small bursts of dopamine, that happy chemical in our brains. Every notification, every like, every new message feels like a tiny reward. And once your brain gets used to it, it keeps asking for more. It's like having a cookie jar on the table and trying not to open it. Eventually, your hand just moves on its own. Without those constant hits of dopamine, I felt restless. There were moments of boredom that seemed to stretch forever. I caught myself pacing around the room or checking the fridge even though I wasn't hungry. My brain was craving stimulation, but for the first time, I had to sit with the silence. But then, something unexpected happened. By the fourth or fifth day, the noise in my head started to fade. The urge to check my phone every few minutes grew weaker. I noticed little things I'd been missing. The sound of birds in the morning, the way sunlight hit my desk, even how my thoughts seemed less scattered. That was my first big lesson. Social media fills our minds with constant noise. When you take it away, you're left with space. And in that space, clarity slowly returns. Reclaiming time and focus. Once I made it through that first shaky week, something incredible happened. I realized I had so much more time. Without the endless scroll of news feeds and videos, I was suddenly gaining 2 to 3 extra hours every single day. At first, I didn't know what to do with it. Then I started filling it with things I had been too busy for. I picked up a book I had been meaning to read for months. I went for long walks without my phone, listening to the world instead of a stream of notifications. I even started exercising more, and for the first time in a while, I wasn't rushing through it just to get back to my screen. The biggest surprise was how much sharper my mind felt. Studies show that constant social media use can make it harder to concentrate because our brains get used to quick hits of information instead of deep focus. But after a week away, I could sit down and work on projects for an hour or two without checking my phone. That kind of focus felt almost impossible before. I also felt calmer. Without the constant comparison to other people's highlight reels, I wasn't worrying about whether I was behind in life. Instead, I started enjoying my own progress, no matter how small. That shift alone made me more motivated to create and to spend time on things that actually matter. It's funny, I thought giving up social media would leave me disconnected, but it actually gave me back control of my time and my attention. I was no longer letting an app decide what I should think about. That realization pushed me to keep going, eager to see what else I could discover in the days ahead. Relationships in the real world. Something else changed once the apps were gone. The way I connected with people around me. Without social media, I started having more real conversations. Instead of sending a quick emoji or dropping a like on a photo, I was calling friends, meeting them for coffee, and actually listening to what they had to say. At first, it felt unusual. I was so used to the fast pace of online interactions that sitting across from someone and talking for an hour felt almost slow. But soon I realized this slowness was exactly what made those moments special. There's a big difference between a digital heart on a post and hearing someone laugh in front of you. Meals with family became more meaningful too. I wasn't distracted by the urge to take pictures or check notifications at the dinner table. Instead, I was fully present. A walk with a friend, which used to include checking my phone every few minutes, turned into a chance to notice small details around us. The sound of the leaves, the colors of the sunset, the stories we shared without interruptions. Research shows that heavy social media use can actually increase feelings of loneliness because it replaces genuine connections with shallow ones. I didn't fully believe it until I stepped away myself. When I was offline, I realized how much stronger relationships can become when you give people your full attention. By the end of the month, I started valuing these small, everyday interactions far more than any notification on my phone. Real laughter, real conversations, and real presence. Those are the things that stay with you long after the moment has passed. The mental shift. Happiness without the scroll. The biggest transformation came from within. After 2 weeks without social media, I noticed my mood changing. I was sleeping better at night because I wasn't staring at a bright screen before bed. I felt less anxious because I wasn't constantly comparing my life to the highlight reels of others. And slowly, my self-esteem grew stronger because I was no longer measuring myself against strangers online. Social media often creates FOMO, the fear of missing out. Seeing others travel, party, or succeed can make you feel like you're falling behind. Without that constant reminder, I stopped feeling like I was competing in some endless race. Instead, I started enjoying my own life, at my own pace. Boredom, which I used to avoid by scrolling, turned into something useful. When I felt restless, I picked up old hobbies. Sketching, writing, even cooking new recipes. That boredom sparked creativity. It gave me space to think and come up with ideas I never had time for before. Psychologists say the brain is adaptable. When you remove one source of stimulation, it finds joy in other, often simpler things. I experienced this firsthand. A quiet evening with music, a morning walk in fresh air, or even just sitting with my own thoughts brought me peace. Happiness wasn't hidden inside a glowing screen. It was already around me, waiting to be noticed. And once I stepped away from the scroll, I realized how easy it is to find joy in everyday life. After 30 days without social media, I came out of the experiment with more than I expected. What began as a restless challenge turned into a lesson in peace, focus, and real connection. I learned that life is much richer when your attention isn't trapped by endless notifications. I learned that true happiness doesn't come from scrolling, but from presence, creativity, and the people around you. The central question was simple. What happens when you step away for a month? The answer is freedom. Freedom from noise, from comparison, and from wasted time. If you've ever felt drained or distracted by social media, I encourage you to try your own detox. Even 7 days can show you what's possible. Share your experience in the comments, and let's start a real conversation here. Don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories that help us live with more clarity and purpose.